Welcome to Homegrown, where we introduce you to the people and stories shaping the character of life here in Arkansas. I'm Dawn Scott, and in this episode, we'll meet young Arkansans who are showing up and showing out. We'll meet two brothers from Paragould who are leaving their brand on the world of Arkansas livestock, a brother and sister who are finding their unique, powerful voices through creative self-expression. And we'll look back at the historic live conversation between a group of Arkansas fifth graders and the International Space Station. But first, the world of sports announcing has historically been a boys' club, but high school student Lexi Jarrett is flipping the script and finding her voice doing play-by-play announcing while overcoming a unique personal challenge.
What's up, you guys, and welcome to CTHS Live. I'm Lexi Jarrett, welcoming you to tonight's matchup. So I always knew that I wanted to go into the sports field. I just didn't know how, so I didn't want to play sports because I was not gifted with any athletic abilities. And that's whenever I realized that I could be a sports analyst. Trying to find a pass, gonna send it.
But she can immediately flip the switch where she is just like camera ready.
They're gonna be moving the chains on that one. Pass it, good to Davey. Oh, loose ball. And that's gonna be a touchdown for your Cross County Thunderbirds. So it's 11, okay. So that's 12 timeouts in the game, there's 11. Probably set. We're gonna use all our timeouts. I'm the first female sports commentator for the school, and I've just always been like real fascinated with it. So I think it's a way to kind of like tell a story and get to show personality through audio. Able to come back with that. We see Coach Hill, the team's personal hot man, hyping everybody up.
And she's been doing it since I believe her 8th grade year, and being an anchor and being, analysis and going over stuff. And, each year she's gotten better.
She was a super confident kid. She likes being in action. She likes getting to talk to these coaches, and she is not scared to stick a microphone in someone's face.
All right, what's up, you guys? I'm here field side with AJ Bill, one of our seniors here on your Cross County Thunderbird football team.
Always researching, always asking questions, always watching her own live feed throughout the week and trying to find things that maybe she could do better. The live stream is giving her those opportunities just to grow. Right. Well, trips is going to be 3 receivers. Bunch is when all 3 of them are bunched up together.
Yeah, I know. 1, 2, 3. Bunch right, bunch left. I learned that one this week. Okay, Baltimore going to hand it off, trying to run up the center. They're going to be brought down, looks like around the 31-yard line. Whenever I first started, I wasn't the best commentator, and the way I would practice was turning on Chiefs games and just commentating it without the audio.
What's it called when the quarterback changes the play?
An audible.
Audible, good. There you go. And when she loves something, then she goes, head over heels, full throttle to do whatever it is she's into.
One-handed catch on the sideline, running down through the goal, caught it. I mean, freaking Spider-Man did it. It was the play of the season, play of the year.
Play of the year?
Yes.
I'll quote you on that.
She has a story that is unlike any that most people think of when you think of someone in a position. Like, she's overcame a lot in a really short amount of time.
Middle school, 5th grade, 4th grade, just the tics that she has started with just head jerking, head nodding.
The earliest memory I had was at that time I was at my grandma's house, and I remember making this face. I really didn't think anything of it, but my grandma was always like, you need to stop faking that face or you're gonna create a habit of it. And that's whenever I started noticing it. I didn't, at the time, didn't know what Tourette's was. I was just like, maybe I just have something weird going on. The biggest challenge is actually like the motor portions of it. So I had vocal tics in the past, they're not as prominent now, but my biggest thing is my head shakes. It looks like I'm agreeing with people a lot. And so that just really gets in the way. My neck will get super tired, so I'll be exhausted by the end of the day. And then whenever I commentate, my headset will move. So my mic, you'll hear random things, and it's like my mic either touching like my face somehow or it's dropping up and down because my head's moving.
Definitely been times where things have been said, and sometimes the students knew what they were saying. Sometimes they just didn't know that she had Tourette's.
Even though they're not made to be hurtful, those can sometimes really bother me and get me insecure about it. And I think that's honestly probably the biggest part of it, is just having to deal with the little comments that are made that aren't meant to be hurtful. They just kind of end up that way.
AJ, looking here, trying to find a pass, gonna send it.
Being a woman in the sports field, it's something that I'm super passionate about. Wanting to make a change and leave my mark on that field is what drives me.
What Lexi has to struggle with day to day is what makes her so great at what she does. When that mic turns on, like, she kind of puts all that stuff on the back burner and she just runs with it.
Make my family proud and make those that have seen me like go through what happened in the past to what I am now. I think that's also very motivating.
She's found her passion, she's found what she wants to do, and she's going after it full force.
Signing off from CCHS Live, I'm Lexi Jarrett.
Can't wait to hear Lexi on one of the Arkansas PBS sports broadcasts. Young voices like Lexi's are being heard all over Arkansas, both on the field and behind the mic. Jamie and Narelle McAdoo are talented young artists making music and creating poetry. They spoke to Arkansas PBS's Epiphany Big Piff Morrow about using their voices to change their community.
That we could put out an album of poetry and just show that spoken word isn't just boring, and it isn't something that old white guys do that you read about in class. Like,
It's entertaining and powerful.
Right, entertaining and powerful. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Dope. And I'm guessing by the last name and the hair curl pattern that y'all related, right?
Yeah. That's
sure.
my little sister.
For
My
sure.
big brother.
For sure. So let me ask this: what first got y'all into the path where y'all now in terms of being creatives?
Both of our parents worked at a poetry radio show, so I always like to say it's in my blood. I remember like my first poem was like in 5th grade, and it was like about my crush or whatever, and my mom was like, "You did not write this." So since then, like I've known I've been skilled with writing. Then in middle school, we learned about desegregation and everything, and I wrote a poem called I Don't Get It, where it's like, I don't get why they talk about our skin. I don't get why they think this. And that kind of started my professional career, I would say, because I got asked to do that at different schools, churches, events, go all around this little 11-year-old girl doing this very profound piece about desegregation and about how Black lives do matter and stuff at such a young age. So I've always had it in me because of my parents, but I think it flourished once I went to middle school.
Poet, published author as well. I'm also a rapper, AKA CEO No Real, Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere. You can find my music everywhere. But I just started doing poetry my junior year of high school, and it's crazy because the first poem I wrote, it was about social injustice, racial injustice, and so like that was like my first 3 poems that I ever wrote. Though that's what the topic was. So I'd say before I was even a poet, I was already trying to use my words for activism.
But I did poetry first, and then he saw I was getting paid and making money, so then he kind of took over my area and has just exceeded me by winning all of these competitions. But that's neither here nor there.
CEO, I get it.
CEO. I was in it, yeah.
That's what's up. So I've been kind of following y'all for a while, and especially in this time being after post-George Floyd's murder, and y'all are being activists on front lines. Do you feel that your creativity has to be shown in other forms in terms of protest or advocacy?
Yes, I feel like it's very important to do anything, because just doing nothing, that just doesn't sit right with me. So I feel like what's more important to be doing than any type of protest? Like what could I possibly be doing? Just chilling at home, playing a game, eating something. Like I should be out here trying to make the country better for the future, trying to make change happen. So I feel like it's very important to do anything, whether that's handing out water bottles. You don't necessarily have to march. You can hand out the water bottles. You can make masks for our protesters to wear. You can do anything. There's so many different avenues you could take to help the fight.
And for me, I feel like just being a Black girl is kind of in my essence. And I've always kind of tried to be an example for people that this is what a smart Black girl looks like. This is what a creative Black girl looks like. This is what a confident Black girl looks like. So yes, with my words, yes, with my performances and the way that I speak at these things, that is how I've chosen to use my voice in this movement. But also just by being an example and showing other brown-skinned girls that you can look like me and not have these horrible stereotypical, words associated with you, or you can be more than what they expect out of you. So I've always been kind of humbled at the fact that I can inspire other people who look like me to show them that there's so much greatness just in who you are. And that's what I try to live my day by.
We're not just speaking for ourselves, we are the voice for those who feel like they don't have a voice. So whenever I go up and do a poem in front of hundreds, in front of thousands of people, and everybody can resonate with it, that's powerful. That's a purpose. That's something that's for the greater good of everybody.
When you create now, like, what are your expectations? Like, why do you create, and how do you expect it to be received?
I always write, I would say, for myself. For a short period, I did kind of get lost in it, and I tried to think about my audiences too much. Like, well, if I'm posting this on Instagram, it has to be less than a minute to keep them engaged. It probably should be like this. It needs to be politically correct. You don't want to be too controversial. I did get caught up in that for a little while, but I'm kind of back now to my old gym, and I just want to write about whatever I want to write about, however I'm feeling. When I see these videos, I get outraged, so I'm gonna write from that emotion. Whenever I hear about another death, you know, I get sad, so I'll write a disheartening piece. Like, I think I don't worry so much about how it's perceived now, and once I've done that, my writing has been more authentic, and it's actually reached people more because it's coming from the heart.
That it ain't no gun they make that can kill my soul.
I feel like I always know what the why is when I write a poem, and it's just always coming from an authentic place. I feel like if it's authentic, that's what people resonate with the most.
Right.
So as long as I'm just telling my truth, it is the truth. It's my truth. So no one can dispute what my truth is.
Yeah.
So that's why people resonate with it, and that's why people like it, because it's just authentic, it's real, it's true.
I don't celebrate victories that haven't come. This war is far from won. This war is far from won.
All right, last question to wrap this up. What is one thing from the generation before you that you got that you implement now? And what's one thing where you're like, yeah, that was good for them, but we good? Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna cut this out if like your parents listen. They won't even know.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
But one thing that I've learned from the previous generation is the action part. So, you know, there was the bus boycotts. There were, like, all of that comes from the civil rights movement. We didn't just come up with that. And my father always tells us whenever we play a song, he's like, you know where they got that from, right? Or if there's a TV show, it's like, oh, they copying off of this old TV show. So nothing is new under the sun. But I think we should appreciate some of the activist tactics that they did. And a lot of people think it can be over quick. Like, if you look at history, it took longer. Like, you have to continually put forth effort if you want this protest to actually make a difference and change laws and legislation, which it already is, which is why I think what's going on right now has been so impactful already, but we gotta keep going. Like, that's what I've learned from them, is that resilience, you know, you gotta keep pushing, and you can't just think it'll be over soon.
Sure.
Right, and just piggybacking off what she said, I think I always listen to my elders. So, like, I feel like you can always glean something from those who come before you. You can always learn from their wisdom because they've been here, they've done it. So you should always think and learn something from previous generations because it was successful. We did get changes made, but we do have more changes to make. So we have to keep pushing and keep protesting.
No, that's actually cool. That's a good place to end. Matter of fact, I think you probably gonna get some more streams of what you said from that anyway. So, no, I appreciate y'all coming here. Thanks for what y'all doing, and y'all inspire me, man, for real.
That interview was shot in early 2020. The world has changed a lot since then, but Jamie and Narelle haven't. The McAdoos have been featured on NPR's StoryCorps, while Jamie's original song, Coastin', enjoyed Instagram fame. Let's meet another impressive pair of siblings, Dylan and Thompson Phelps from Paragould, Arkansas. They are making their mark raising and showing livestock.
I'm Dylan Phelps, and today we're at Crowley's Ridge Classic in Paragould, Arkansas at the Greene County Fairgrounds. Me and my brother were kind of born into it. We've been in barns since we were 1 and 2 years old with goats, calves, and hogs, all kinds of things.
We've always had some form of livestock.
We had beagles that we raised. They had dogs that they took care of from the time they were, little guys.
You can learn all types of life skills within this industry. Teamwork, leadership, hard work. I've met plenty of friends all over the nation, just showing, judging, and all things livestock. We bought a Beefmaster bull, stayed with that for a while, and we learned about KELV cattle.
The main goal has always been to raise well-rounded children, to teach them work ethic, and how to take care of things. We grew up that way, and it's something we enjoy as a family.
Our parents both showed livestock on the county and state level, so I know it goes back 3 generations.
There's a few different levels of shows. There's like these jackpot shows that are pretty local. There's state shows like State Fair and AYE, and then there's national shows like Cattlemen's Congress, Dixie National Open Show. It's a really big show. They got multiple barns full of cows, full of goats, full of pigs, lambs, everything you can think of.
Sometimes you get a trophy, sometimes you get a ring, you get belt buckles, and just all kinds of things that you can win.
Well, I show Market usually. I have a steers. He shows the breeding stock we raise, and the steers, you want muscle. You want muscle them with, you want a big wide top in them. You want some rib to them. You want to look nice from the side. You want to be long front end, long necked. You want to tie and high at their shoulder. You want some bone, use big legs, a lot of hair.
They'll kind of judge you based on how good your animal looks and how good it is in terms of breeding standpoints and structural standpoints. Keep it all, as medicine free as we can, low antibiotics and all that, but you got to have vaccinations to keep them healthy. Raise it, you wean it, and you get it pretty, I guess you could say, and you feed it, make it look good, and then bring it to the show and see what it does.
I like spending time in the barn, getting them ready for the shows, but I think like the day you really, like the most when you get here and you get them ready, got them looking their very best, and you go in there and you win a banner.
There's a lot of blue ribbon effect, I guess you could call it, and there's a lot of thrill that goes into it. When the judge comes up to you, shakes your hand, and tells you you won, there's a lot of emotions going through there because you think about all the hard work that you've put in and how much your family's put into it. There's all kinds of different things you can do besides just showing and breeding livestock, and I think that's overlooked a lot because things like FFA, in the name it's Future Farmers of America, but you can do a whole lot more than just being a farmer and whatnot.
It's not just about the cattle and raising the cattle. They also do livestock judging, public speaking.
My dad went to college judging livestock collegiately, and I kind of want to go down that same path.
There's scholarships for everything. There's LDEs, which are leadership development events where you speak. I did extemporaneous speaking, where you get a topic and you have 30 minutes to write a speech and deliver it. Scholarships for public speaking, and then there's stuff like this where you get scholarships for winning big shows.
That's my favorite part of it, is seeing them progress and watching how much they've learned and what they pick up on.
Hard work pays off, always. It's just what you get out what you put in, is what it boils down to. During the school week, we get up about 5:30, go out, feed the heifers, feed the bulls, get everything taken care of for the morning.
Make sure if a cow's had a calf that it's healthy and doing well, and just check on everything in the morning, go to school,
come back home, and do it all again. You just take care of them, you feed them, you water them, check on them, make sure they're all doing well. If one's sick, you got to get up and doctor it.
Whether it's nice outside or whether it's cold or whether it's hot, it's something that has to be done.
Sometimes it's going to be rough. It's good days and bad days, just like everything else, just like sports.
You have to learn to prioritize and figure out how to make it to baseball practice, and how to get to judging contest, how to get your homework done.
I mean, there's a lot of people that feed once a day after school and don't do anything in the morning. But us, we feed morning and night.
If you have a cow at home and you don't take care of it, you don't feed it when you're supposed to feed it, it gets a little skinny, you show up here and you don't do well. 3B is Three Brothers Cattle Co. So me, my brother Thompson, and my brother Garrett all started this about 4 or 5 years ago.
They wanted it to be 3B because there were 3 brothers.
I think it's important to kind of, if you want to stay in this industry for a while, get your name out there, win some shows.
Yeah, there's some rivalries. Walk on a baseball field, you can be playing with your buddies in a friendly game, and if it's a state championship, you're out to win it.
The rivalry between us, when it's our cows that we're showing, we breed those, raise them together. We're always hoping for the other to win or us to win. We want our cows to do well. But in showmanship, that's when they judge you on how well you exhibit your animal. That's always been a rivalry between us.
But there's always that showmanship class that you're judged on your showmanship and how you actually present your animal, and I think there's plenty of rivalry there.
What we've tried to instill in these boys is, regardless of who's there that weekend, you're there to help.
It's amazing to go out there and compete against someone you love. I love it. I've been in it my whole life, and I really can't picture my life without it.
Whether they want to go be nurses or farmers or doctors or whatever, this program prepares them for whatever lies ahead. It instills a lot of values, it instills a lot of work ethic, and regardless of what direction they go, it prepares them for it. I hope that we've got grandkids that are here showing one day, hopefully a lot of years from now. But it's a common goal, I think, with most people in this industry. We're trying to raise better young men and women, and we're using the cattle to do that.
With the responsibility for raising and showing livestock, the Phelpses clearly got their feet on the ground. While in late 2020, a group of Arkansas fifth graders made a historic connection to the stars, a live conversation with the International Space Station.
It is great to be back at Nettleton STEAM and to see the incredible leadership among the students that are here that are problem solving. This is an exciting day, not just for Nettleton STEAM, but for Arkansas, because you have an opportunity to talk and ask questions of astronauts in the International Space Station.
This is the first time a school in Arkansas has been chosen for this honor. And it's a real testament to the hard work and curiosity of the students, as well as the innovative ways STEAM's educators have incorporated the space program across your entire curriculum. I can't wait to see what you'll discover.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event? Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event. Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Hello, my name is Emily Perez.
My name is Aiden Turturro. My name is Allison Moss. My name is Layla Westbrook.
My name is Brooklyn Wheely, and I'm a 6th grader from Nettleton STEAM in Jonesboro, Arkansas. My question is for Dr. Shannon Walker. What changes have been observed in the human body during a long-duration spaceflight?
You know, it's really interesting how the body changes when it goes into space. One thing that happens immediately is your spine grows.
We have done a whole series of plant experiments, and some of the variables that we find that are really critical for plant growth are the atmospheric conditions.
I think there's two critical skills that people need for long-duration spaceflight. I think you need to be a really good team player, and I think you need really good communication skills.
We've researched that day and night changes every hour and a half. How is this occurrence affecting your sleep patterns?
You know, that's an interesting question because a lot of people do ask that since we do go around the Earth every 90 minutes. But the funny thing is, if you look around us, you don't see a whole lot of windows. We do have windows on the space station, but we don't see them. We have to kind of go and look out the window. So our life up here is kind of like living in an office building on the inside. So you don't really notice the day-night cycles so much. And in our crew quarters where we sleep, we don't have windows at all, which is really sad. I would love to have a window in there. I would like there.
My name is Layla Westbrook, and I'm a 6th grader from Nettleton STEAM in Jonesboro, Arkansas. My question is for Dr. Kate Rubens. Can you talk about any interesting experiments that you have worked on in space?
Layla, I can tell you are a scientist in the making. That is a great question. You have to deal with all the tools and all the equipment in kind of a different way than we do when we train underwater in the swimming pool. So I am really looking forward to us wearing a spacesuit that you design someday.
Boys and girls, you just made history. Congratulations, and I'm very proud of your questions. It is my honor to work alongside some of the most incredible faculty, staff, and students in this creative learning environment. Today is your day, and we are so very proud. Nettleton STEAM would also like to say a personal welcome to our international partner schools, the Canaan School in Johannesburg, South Africa, and our partner school in Acuna, Mexico. We are so thankful to you all for joining us in this historic event. We did it. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
To the stars and back, the live downlink with the International Space Station was a once-in-a-lifetime event. But the students involved were stars in their own right. They made all us Arkansans proud. You can see the full documentary on how the school and the community prepared for the big day at the Arkansas PBS YouTube channel. That's it for this episode of Homegrown. Thanks for spending your time with us, and please take a moment to appreciate the people whose hard work has gone into producing this show. I'm Dawn Scott, and we'll see you next time.